This is an extremely important video and it ties in with what Sky Sports did in Abu Dhabi 2021. It relates to the Grand Prix yesterday, the 2024 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and this is Sky's analysis of why Lando Norris wasn't penalised for potential jump start. Now it's on YouTube, this video. It's 1:17 long, and they've put in front of you Anthony Davidson to explain why. I'm going to play you that through in full without interruption, and then I'm going to break it down. Okay, because it is absolutely disgusting. It is mind conditioning. I'm going to show you exactly how they are conditioning you.
So there'll probably be lots of questions regarding this potential jump start from Lando Norris, something that we all saw, something that he definitely felt. I'll just play it on so you can see what I mean. Red lights are on, the car clearly moves, he stops, and then he gets going again. So why didn't he get a penalty? Well, on the circuit, if I just roll this back a little bit, on each grid box, there is somewhere in this line, there's a sensor. Now, it appears that the sensor wasn't working. It didn't detect the car moving. It's an automated system. It didn't detect that the car had moved. So, the stewards, although they can see that it is a potential jump start, or was a jump start, the human eye can detect it, the sensor didn't actually pick it up. So that's the first bit of luck. Second, there's a bit of a loophole in the regulation. If they were given a penalty, turns out that if the team appealed it, they would win the appeal because the sensor can't detect the car moving. So that's why Lando Norris, we believe, didn't get a penalty for this actual jump start. Computer said no.
Now we'll go through that again, okay? And I'll point out to you exactly what they are doing. So, from the start, let's listen to what he's got to say, and I'm going to stop it where I need to interject.
So there'll probably be lots of questions regarding this potential jump start from Lando Norris, something...
One question. What the fuck? It's a penalty. The guy jumped the start. Why have you not given him a penalty? It's not lots of questions. Simple one question.
That we all saw, something that he definitely felt. I'll just play it on so you can see what I mean. Red lights are on, the car clearly moves, he stops, and then he gets going again. So why didn't he get a penalty? Well, on the circuit, if I just roll this back a little bit, on each grid box, there is...
So, we are firstly going down a route to explain how the technology that senses it works. Is that important? When we can physically see something, whether or not the technology works or not, it's not really relevant. In their telemetry, in their steward's office, then it might set a buzzer off if the sensor detects it. But if it doesn't and you can physically see it, does that mean that you haven't done it? Oh, it didn't set the buzzer off, so therefore it didn't happen. No, we saw it happen. So why are you even going down this route of explaining about the technology and the fact that the technology isn't working? It didn't do what it was supposed to do, and using that as justification.
Somewhere in this line, there's a sensor. Now, it appears that the sensor wasn't working. It didn't detect the car moving. It's an auto...
Luckily, what was the global audience for the Saudi Grand Prix in 2024? How many million? Well, there was however many million sensors, because we've got sensory organs, our eyes, and we all saw the offence. So what takes precedent? Everybody seeing what took place, or an in-track sensor that malfunctioned?
Automated system, it didn't detect that the car had moved. So, the stewards, although they can see that it is a potential jump start, or was a
potential jump start, it clearly was. Don't start gassing everybody up by going, oh, allegedly, potentially, could have been. Look, we can all see with our own eyes what happened. That car moved forward before the race should have started. That's a jump start. It is plain to see for everybody to see. We don't need to use this tentative language of it was potentially. No, it was. We can state with actual fact that it was.
The jump start, the human eye can detect it, the sensor didn't actually pick it up. So that's the first bit of luck.
The first bit of luck. No, it's not a bit of luck. Doesn't matter whether a sensor picks it up. If the human eye can see it, it happened. And therefore, you penalise it based on evidence. Evidence of video replay. The sensor data is irrelevant. If, for example, and I think somebody made a comment about this, but it's exactly what I was thinking. If, for example, in every Formula One car there is a GPS sensor, and that gives you the tracker view, that gives you the little dots going around the track when we're looking at tracker view. Okay? But if that GPS sensor wasn't working, and therefore your little dot disappeared off their little data screen, and you finished the Grand Prix first, but the sensor didn't pick that up, so therefore you didn't win the Grand Prix. Yeah, you're no longer in the Grand Prix because the sensor wasn't working. Is that how it works, is it? No. You dismiss the sensor bullshit. You can clearly see with your own eyes what is going on. And Sky put forward this man. Now, this is the key. Right now, this is the key. Okay? Because this principle of what is going to happen now extrapolates into so many things now. Listen to this.
Second, there's a bit of a loophole in the regulation.
Okay. There's a bit of a loophole in the regulations, and that line there will fool thousands, millions of people. That line there, that very line that he just used, will absolutely fool millions of people. Just going to play that again.
First bit of luck. Second, there's a bit of a loophole in the regulation.
No, there's not. There's not a loophole in anything. When they describe something as a loophole, it is specific language that they are trying to use to condition you to believe that there is an argument that can be put forward to evade consequence for wrongdoing. That is exactly what they're doing. It's not a loophole, okay? They are trying to absolve themselves of consequence for doing something wrong by describing it as a justification, saying, well, there's a loophole that enables this situation to be okay, to be acceptable. That is something that they do to you in life. Who does it? Big business, okay? And lawyers representing a big business trying to argue, trying to put forward an argument to say the law somehow means that the truth isn't the truth. Okay? And look at how he describes this loophole.
If they were given a penalty, turns out that if the team appealed it, they would win the appeal.
Right, I'm going to...
Because the sensor can't detect the car moving. So that's why Lando Norris, we believe, didn't get a penalty for this.
We believe, again, we believe, it's only our beliefs, but we're going to replay that bit again, and I'm going to break that bit down.
First bit of luck. Second, there's a bit of a loophole in the regulation. If they were given a penalty.
And the other thing is, they are trying to present that within these regulations of the sport, they're open to interpretation. There are these supposed loopholes whereby, it means this, but actually this can happen, which is not the truth. They're once again gaslighting people into believing that what took place in Abu Dhabi there will still be arguments that mean you can't overturn it. There will still be justification for the FIA in doing what they did. There is absolutely none. That will be proven in a court of law. That will be proven in a court of law. Listen to what he says here.
Turns out that if the team appealed it, they would win the appeal because the sensor can't detect the car moving.
Wrong. He's just told you that if the FIA would have penalised him for this, and then McLaren would have appealed the penalty, then McLaren would have won the appeal. Absolute bollocks. You've just received a penalty for a jump start, and you, as the team McLaren, appeal that. Well, on what grounds are you appealing the penalty? Oh, the sensor didn't pick it up. Well, here's the evidence of the jump start. The evidence of the jump start is the car has moved before the race has started. That's a jump start. Here is the camera footage. Here is the evidence. You've put forward that he didn't. That's a false appeal. We'll double the penalty. If you've got lawyers representing you saying, oh yeah, but the sensor didn't pick it up. Everybody's sensors, everybody's sensory organs picked it up. We saw with our own eyes. Don't try and lie to us to pretend it didn't happen, or suggest that just because a sensor failed, that means that absolves you from a penalty. You still jumped the start. The offence is jumping the start. Whether or not technology in terms of the track sensor picked it up or not is irrelevant. The offence is jumping the start. Is there evidence that you jumped the start? There categorically is. Therefore, there's your penalty. If you appeal that, you are doing so falsely to try and evade consequence for your actions. This man is put in front of you by Sky TV to try and validate that, to try and validate the decision making of the FIA, the sports corrupt governing body who failed to give a penalty on one of the most blatant offences that you could ever see. Why? This is sport manipulation of the highest level. This is fixing. This is beyond incompetence. This is corruption.
So that's why Lando Norris, we believe, didn't get a penalty for this actual jump start.
Now, the scary thing is, in so many things in life, this is how things will be presented to you. You will be told that there is no consequence for the perpetrators of certain crimes. There is a loophole. There is a reason why they will not face a penalty. There is a reason why those perpetrators will be absolved from consequence for their actions. Who is telling you that? Who is arguing that? Who is defending the culprits? You've got corruption within law systems. You've got media lying to you, like this man that's just been put up in front of you to persuade you that you don't know enough. Your eyes, that although yes, we acknowledge that you can see what you saw with your own eyes, okay, but you don't know about the regulations, and you don't know that actually there is a loophole. Sorry if my voice went a bit funny there. I just had to pause there to cough. That's what they tried to do. They tried to convince you. They tried to disorientate you. Get you to question yourself. Oh, actually, what would have happened had McLaren have appealed this? McLaren would have won. On what grounds? On what grounds? McLaren would have won because they would have argued that, oh, well, the sensor in the track didn't work, so therefore it wasn't a jump start. No. Look at this. Look at this evidence. Video footage of it actually taking place. That's conclusive. That makes you guilty of that offence. There is no loophole. Loophole, the term invented to enable people to argue that right isn't right. Sorry, wrong is right. Oh, technically, oh, legally, you could argue, right, you're only putting that corrupt argument forward if you are trying to absolve yourself of consequence for wrongdoing. There are black and white things. This is a black and white situation. He offended. It's a penalty. The governing body didn't give that penalty. Why? The media validate it with this explanation. Why? There is a clear problem. There is a clear problem. And this sort of thing happens in your life. With so many things in your life, the media is lying to you. They are pretending. They are funded. They are presenting an agenda. And they are lying to you to convince you to believe things to be a certain way. Your kids are going to go into school. They're going to be debating. They're going to be having conversations with their friends about what took place in the Grand Prix. Okay? And they're going to get conditioned with this mindset of going, oh, but there was a loophole. We saw it on Sky. There's a loophole whereby actually McLaren would have been able to appeal it and McLaren would have won. So that's okay. That is what you are teaching children. You are conditioning the minds of the vulnerable to accept that these arguments are valid arguments, and therefore that is a way of absolving people from consequence for wrongdoing. It is a strategy. It's a mechanism. Understand that this is a mechanism of mind conditioning to make people believe that there is the things that you can't apply consequence for. And that then translates into what happens in life. Governmental decisions, corruption in big business, things that are benefiting the billionaires that impact the lives of us. And they will tell you, oh, yeah, there's a loophole there. There's nothing you can do, because they've done this and it's all okay. And technically they would be okay this by doing it this way. No, it's lies. It's lies. Start seeing through the bullshit. It is absolute lies. You can see that I'm passionate about this. When you really see the implications of this kind of language, this is conditioning. This is what took place for Abu Dhabi 2021. Okay, and it's happening since then as well. There's many things, but that is a clear example of something that was clearly wrong. The governing body clearly didn't penalise it, and then the media is put that out there to validate it and pretend to you that there's a reason why that they could do what it was they did, when there is absolutely no validity to what they've just said. No validity whatsoever. Take a look at this video that is on the screen now. I'll put a link into it in the description. Start waking up and start waking others up around you. It is really important. There's some critical things going on in the world at the moment, and people need to start seeing what is truly going on. Thank you for your time.